Anybody would like to pray for us this morning? Councillor Ndaka, you are welcome to open us for in prayer. You may go ahead.
Can close our eyes. Those are closing the eyes.
Oh,
Tandaza Kamta.
You may go ahead, Councillor.
okay. Thandaza.
Bawo onamandla onke. Silapha sise-council meeting. Kwindibano edibanisa bonke okhansila baseGeorge, lonke ibhunga laseGeorge. Sicela amandla kuwe ke Thixo, sicela ukuthobelana, sicela umamelana, sicela imimoya ephansi, ngoba unguThixo othembakeleyo. Zonke izigqibo ezawuthi zithathwe apha kube kukuthanda kwabantu nothi ukuthanda komntu omnye. Nkosi wena Thixo olungileyo, touch everyone that is here ngegama lakho nangegazi lakho kaYesu Kristu esilithembileyo. You are trustworthy. You are honest, God. Thank you and amen.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Councillors, I must ask you to please watch your microphones. I see there are still some microphones going on and off. You are responsible for your microphone during the meeting. With that, I'm going to ask that the administration goes through the roll call, please.
Good morning, Speaker. Good morning, everybody. I'll start with Councillor Adams.
Morning, everyone. I'm present. I'm using
Councillor.
Councillor Safa's laptop currently. Mine busy with my cable. Thank you.
Councillor America.
Good morning, present.
Councillor Barnard.
Good morning, present.
Councillor Brown.
Morning, Rosemary, present.
Councillor Busak. Councillor Carolus.
Councillor Busak, I'm present. Good
Councillor
morning,
Clark.
Rose, present.
Thank you. Councillor Clark.
Present, good morning.
Councillor Puris.
Present, good morning.
Councillor Cronje.
Here, present.
Councillor Dutoy.
Goeiemôre Rosemary, ek is teenwoordig.
Councillor Esau.
Goeiemôre, teenwoordig.
Councillor Edie Vigeland.
Goeiemôre aan Rose, teenwoordig.
Councillor RG Vigeland.
RS Wagland present. I can't hear Rosemary, but I can hear the
Councillor
other
Fry.
Good morning.
Councillor Fry. Councillor Gericke.
Present. Morning.
Councillor Gom.
Vry is teenwoordig. Goeiemôre, speaker.
Dankie,
Councillor-
Councillor Fry. Councillor Gom is present.
Councillor
Councillor Councillor Greef.
Goeiemôre, Auntie Rose, teenwoordig.
Councillor Goldtick.
Councillor Donovan Gultig, present. Thank you.
Councillor M. Goldtick.
Present, thank you, Rosemary.
Councillor Hani.
Good morning, I'm present.
Councillor Jantjies.
Back from hospital, thank you, everybody.
Councillor Jay.
Goeiemôre, teenwoordig, Rosemary.
Councillor Johnson.
Good morning, I'm present.
Councillor Kleinans.
Good morning, Marose, present.
Councillor Alderman, Kritzinger.
Good morning, Ms. Bredenkamp and colleagues. I'm present.
Councillor Kruger.
Good morning, I'm present.
Councillor Kidd.
Good morning, I'm present.
Councillor Lemony.
Goeiemôre, ek is teenwoordig.
Councillor Lento.
Good morning, my Rose, I'm present. Thank you.
Councillor Lose. Councillor Low.
Good morning, everybody. Present, Rosemary.
Councillor
Morning, I'm
Manganele.
present.
Good
What's
morning,
that,
Councillor Mamele, present. Thank you.
Councillor
Morning,
Masasi.
everyone.
Good morning, I'm present.
Councillor Mbete.
Morning, Maros. Morning, everyone. I'm present.
Councillor Iti Mdaka.
Good morning, on a rainy day. Councillor Mdaga is present. Thank you, Maros.
Councillor F. Mdaka.
I'm the one that prayed. I'm here.
Councillor Murkuli.
Good morning, I'm present.
Councillor Neetlen.
Teenwoordig.
Councillor Niels.
Councillor Nias has sent me a WhatsApp. He is present, but he can't unmute. He's got a problem with his microphone.
Thank you, Speaker. Councillor Ntondini.
Morning, everyone. Today present.
Councillor Katana.
I'm present, Maros.
Councillor Kampi.
Morning, everyone. Present, Maros.
Councillor Roofse.
Councillor Rusa present.
Councillor Cyphers.
Councillor Cyphers present.
Councillor Summers.
Summers present.
Councillor Smart.
Teenwoordig, Rosemary. Goedemorgen.
Councillor Snyman.
I am present, Rosemary. Thank you.
Councillor Stander.
Good morning, Rosemary. I'm present.
Councillor Toto.
Hartelijke goeiemorgen, ek is teenwoordig, dankie.
Alderman van die Kerk.
Goeiemôre, ek is dan teenwoordig.
Alderman von Brandes. Councillor R. Foster.
Goeiemorgen, teenwoordig.
Councillor S. Foster.
Goeiemorgen, ek is teenwoordig.
Councillor Windwaai.
Goeiemorgen, Rosemary, teenwoordig.
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Rosemary. I see there are some people that put their presence in the chat box. With that, I'm going to move on to item, there is no mayoral address, so I'm going to move on to item 3, applications for leave. May I ask the Chief Whip, have you received any applications for leave, Councillor Jay?
Morning, Speaker. None from my side.
Thank you very much. I'm going to move on to the administration. Mr. Duenas, have you received any applications for leave?
Speaker, good morning. Good morning, councillors. No applications from the administration side.
Thank you very much. We can move on. Next item on the agenda is item 4, disclosure of interest by councillors. Item 6 of the Code of Conduct for councillors and disclosure of benefits by municipal staff members. Item 5 of the Code of Conduct for municipal staff members. At this point, I'd like to ask if there's anybody that has anything to disclose, please. By way of hands, Councillor Lamini, you may disclose.
Good morning. Item sorry, item 8.1.4. My name is on there.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Councillor Justin Fry, your hand is up.
Speaker, am I audible? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Councillor.
Thank you, Speaker. Good morning once again to you, Speaker, and the other colleagues, the same as Councillor Grootboom Lemony. The Grootboom family is part of my family as Duko. Therefore, I want to declare that it's one of our family houses that is being talked about.
Thank you,
My
Councillor.
great-grandfather.
Thank you, Councillor. We don't need to go
Copy,
into any
Speaker.
detail. Thank you. So noted. Thank you, Councillor. I will then ask you to recuse yourselves at that point. Thank you. Councillors, with that, moving on, could you put your hands down, please? We'll move on to item 5, confirmation of the minutes of the previous meetings. 5.1, minutes of the special E-Council meeting held on the 22nd of August. Do we have a proposer? Or do we, actually, that no, yeah, can we have a proposer, please?
Brown proposes.
So, okay, I hope, Rosemary, I hope you got that. Item 5.2, minutes of the ordinary e-council meeting held on the 29th of August 2024. Do we have a proposer and a seconder?
May you propose?
Rules a second.
Rosemary, did you get that? Just confirm.
Yes, thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. We therefore move on to item 6, questions to which notice was given. I did receive notices, but they were slightly late for this meeting, and they will be dealt with in the October meeting. I just want to confirm that they will be answered. The questions will be answered at the next council meeting. We move on to item 7, confirmation of the minutes of previous mayoral committee meetings. For information, minutes of the mayoral committee meeting held on the 15th of August 2024 for information. Can we have that noted, please?
Noted, Speaker.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to item 8.1, reports for the mayoral committee held on the 12th of September. And the first item there is 8.1.1, George Municipality Progress Report on identifying possible land for expansion of the cemeteries. The first person to speak on that item is Councillor Kleinhans. You have 3 minutes, please.
Thank you, Speaker. Am I audible?
You are audible.
Thank you, Speaker. The purpose of this report is to bring to Council the report on how far we have come to look at the expansion for cemeteries. Speaker, in the whole municipal area, specifically, I'm going to start at Uniondale. We have run investigations in Uniondale that have been fruitful to us, Speaker, and negotiations with the Department of Public Works is ongoing to make sure that we do acquire that piece of land via donation or via purchase from the relevant department. Speaker, also we run on page, you can, if the councillors can, with their agenda, on page 67, they will see the methodology that the department are following to making sure that we find the correct place where the next cemetery, specifically in Uniondale, and where the next cemetery in the Greater George area will be. Speaker, myself being born in Uniondale, I know the area very well. The Lionville Cemetery is up to capacity. The cemetery within town, as well as the other older cemetery in Lionville, there's no place for new burials. But we have in the old Lionville some space left, and in town also some spaces left that will carry us through until we find a suitable place. Speaker, coming to the George Municipal, specifically the York Street one, we definitely are running up to space, out of space, but the department, Speaker, are coming now to council to ask that we bigger so that also onze soektog kan vergroot, so that it also include private land if we are not able to find a suitable space within the SDF and the Department of Planning and Development, as into the agenda, are really assisting us, myself, with my colleague Councillor Barnard, is assisting in making sure that the department gets the political support as well as administratively. And we therefore, Speaker, on page 68, we are asking the George Municipality further search for suitable land that is in private ownership for the expansion of cemeteries, that the Planning and Development Department also assists. Currently, I can concur with that, guided by the Spatial Development Framework, that a provision be made in the budget for the purchase of land and the research involved, should it be required. I so propose. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is the ANC. You have 3 minutes.
Manibulise Speaker nephunga. Oqala masibulele kumasipala wethu George basithetha singena sisengaphandle kumasipala sasikhalazela imihlaba esingayaziyo uba ngaba iphansi komasipala or ayikho phansi komasipala. Kuyabonakala ke bade sebasibonisa ukuthi imihlaba ikhona iphansi komasipala nengekho phansi komasipala. So siyayazi lonto, so ibonakele kuba ngaba imihlaba ayikho ephansi komasipala. Imihlaba emininzi ephansi ko-provincial ne-private land nephansi ko-national. So siqaphele nto ke nakule nto yalamangcwaba ukuhlaliswa kwabantu. Sibona ukuba abantu bakuthi basebelele kuthula baye bangaxabiseki ngohlobo loba asifumani direction phaya kwezi ndawo zamangcwaba. Siyavuma nathi kugcwele akusekho izindawo zomngcwabo, but eyona nto besiyifuna phaya kukuba at least abantu bakuthi sibazi bangabasebelela ukuthula apho bakhoyo. Siyayicela into yokuba xa kuthe kwafumaneka le mihlaba ibe khona into laa nto kuthiwa yi-database yabantu bakuthi enze xa ndimfuna umntu ifemeli yam ndiyazi apha ikhona. So zezinye zezinto esithe saziqaphela. And enye into eyesibini esiphinde sayiqaphela kwezi ndawo zamangcwaba kukuba kokungahoyi kwawo awakhuselekanga. Ndingenza umzekelo ngamangcwaba aseThembalethu. Awakhuselekanga, kubiyelwe just icala eliyi-1 kodwa kuthiwa kuchithwe ii-millions for ukubiyela amangcwaba. So zezinye into efuneka sizijonge ezo singumasipala seGeorge, sizikhathalele singabantu ke thina abakhule kule culture yethu. Siyawakhathalela abantu belisebelela ukuthula because sinethemba labo. So sinezo sicelo ukuthi umasipala makazikhathalele zonke izindawo zasemangcwabeni sizibone njengoba zibulasi. Siyigxininisa kakhulu ke indima ye-database kubantu abasemangcwabeni. Ndiyabulela Speaker, enkosi.
Thank you very much. Can we have a translation, please? Corporate Services, could I ask for a translation, please?
Good morning, Speaker. Good morning, councillors. Am I audible now?
You are.
Okay. First of all, as the ANC, we want to say thank you so much to the George Municipality for explaining to us, because we have been complaining about land, because we do not know where the land belongs to, the municipality or provincial. Now we are quite clear. We know that some of the land belongs to the provincial, the national, and some can be even private land. So now we know exactly what is going on. So we just want to say thank you very much for that. Secondly, when it comes to the cemetery, we see that they are not valued. Where our people are resting, they are not valued, because sometimes we find ourselves in difficult position in finding the direction to find your loved ones that have been buried there. So we want to say, let there be a database system so that we can be able to go and find our people according to the allocation that will be on the database. And secondly, what we've noticed is that the cemeteries are not safe at all, especially in Thembalethu. We see that they say that there's been R1 million has been spent for Thembalethu Cemetery, but just one side has been fenced. So we just want to say, let that matter be looked into, because in our culture we honor and we value cemeteries very much, because we honor our people that are resting peacefully. So we just want to make emphasis on the database. Let there be a database system so that we can be able to know where exactly our people are lying. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker on this item is the PVI. You have 1 minute 30.
Thank you, Speaker. It is known to many of us that the George Cemeteries has no space left to bury our loved ones. The PVI have an urgent request that availed land must be brought forward and a land audit must be done. Municipal land can't be rented to farmers for an apple and an eye, yes, for next to nothing. And yet we're sitting with the challenges regarding cemeteries. The cost of burying a loved one is expensive. We as a municipal needs to look into it. It remains the responsibility of the George Municipal to create space for an additional cemetery accessible to all of its communities. This includes the safety and the security of loved ones who visited the cemetery. For example, if we look at vandalism at the cemeteries, we need proper fencing around our cemeteries. It will form security for those who visit the departed. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The next person to speak on this item is the Good Party. You have 1 minute.
Baie dankie, Speaker. Op hierdie item wil ons graag noem dat die George populasie het oor die aantal jare geweldig baie gegroei en dit sluit die landelike gebiede in. Die toestroming na George die afgelope jare word veroorsaak deur die soek na beter geleenthede wat insluit ekonomiese en werksgeleenthede. Speaker, ondersoek was geloods deur die munisipaliteit rakende die moontlikheid om kerke toe te laat om mure van aandenking te bou. Ons wil graag weet hoe ver die proses is en ons sal ook graag wil weet hoeveel begrafplaatse besit word deur kerke of ander geloofsgroepe. Grond was ook geïdentifiseer om die agterkant, aan die agterkant van Groeneweidepark vir die moontlikheid van 'n begrafplaas. As goed ondersteun ons die aanbevelings op bladsy 86, maar ons noem dat daar moet gefokus word op munisipale eiendom om kostes te bespaar. Dankie, Speaker.
Thank you. Can I have a translation, please?
Speaker? It's good. We want to say that the population of George has grown over the years. So George has grown. Even the rural areas have also grown. There was an investigation that has been made with regard to this. So we just want to know how far is the investigation when it comes to the churches and other groups for obtaining land. I just want to know how far is that investigation and the other land that has been identified on the other side of Renovada. Otherwise, other than that, we want to say we support the recommendation as they are in the given page number. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The last person to speak on this item is Councillor Katana. You have 1 minute.
Thank you, Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Speaker, ndifuna ukuthetha isikhozi. Ndiyavuya kakhulu into yobana umasipala uphethwe yi-DA ekwazi ukucinga ahead uba makubekho umhlaba wamangcwaba. Abantu bethu basweleke kakhulu ngexesha le-COVID, loo nto yenze ukuba amangcwaba mawakhawuleze acutheke ispace khona. Speaker, ndiyafuna ukuthi kwakhona into yobana yi-responsibility yefemeli ukuze kukwazi uku-identify uba ingcwaba lomntu liphi, not kamasipala. Speaker, ukutsho ke ndithi ndiyamseka ugxa wam we-DA. Enkosi.
Can I have a translation?
I want to say this English because I'm glad that the DA municipality has think ahead for our people because during COVID, our people passed away. A lot of people died. Hence, we find ourselves in this problem of the cemeteries. But what I also want to make emphasis on is the fact that the responsibility lies on the family to be able to identify their loved one in the cemetery, not the duty of the municipality. Other than that, I do second the recommendation made by my colleague.
Thank you very much. I see that the MMC for this department has his hand up. I presume that in accordance with the rules, you'd like to clarify something, Councillor?
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I just want to concur with my fellow colleagues that a database for the cemetery is of utmost importance, and I can confirm today that since 2 years back, the department manager and the senior manager has made sure that the database is in place. So I can confirm today that for the cemeteries in George, we do, and in Uniondale, we do have that. Then secondly, Speaker, I want to confirm that fencing around our cemeteries is of utmost importance. It is therefore that we have over 400,000 rand on the budget to make sure that we do fence our cemeteries. And lastly, Speaker, my colleague from Good is clear that we will definitely submit to our next SAT in November how far this investigation is. And colleagues must bear in mind that when it gets to agricultural land, it's not always permissible to do a cemetery there. But I really thank my colleagues for the input that they've given. And with our door is really open to listen to input from our colleagues. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor, for that clarity. Councillor Lenter, unfortunately, we're not going to go into a debate. The item is closed. Therefore, we are not going to acknowledge your hand on that. The item therefore carries, and we are going to move on to 8.1.2, which is the councillors' accounts in arrears for May 2024. The first person to speak on this item is Councillor Kruger. You have 2 minutes, please.
Yeah, good morning, Speaker. Thanks so much for the opportunity. I would like to draw your attention to page 70 on our agenda. I think we all know this item is a stock standard. The purpose of this item on the agenda is to inform council for any councillor's accounts in arrears as our code of conduct item 14. Now the recommendation to council on May month will be that no councillors are in arrears, and we should note that. But I just want to inform council that this process is done by the financial department and it's done manually. I'm sure there will be questions later on, but for now, at the 31st of May 2024, no councillors' accounts were in arrears. I thus so propose. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Lamini from the EFF. You have 1 minute.
Goedemorgen allemaal. Wat nou net gespeeld was, is precies waarover we gepraat hebben. Because indien je kijkt naar het eind of mei, in de brief wat in de week uitgestuurd was, waarbij daar genoemd was dat die proces wordt te doen, die persoon. Kan ons niet met alle eerlijkheid ook zeggen dat was geen accounts in arrears en de einde geweest van die maand. Nee. Ik denk dat je item kan doorgaan. Gewoon laat ons niet kijken of daar niet werkelijk waar accounts in arrears was. Nee. Dat is al wat ik wil zeggen, dank je.
Can I have a translation, please?
Speaker, I think what has been said is what I wanted to talk about. The letter that we received, we can't strictly say that there were no councillors in areas. This is what has been said, that it must be looked into, that the system runs automatically. So this is what I wanted to say, that let this be looked carefully to. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Masase. You have 1 minute, please.
Thank you, Speaker and colleagues. I hope I'm audible. This is a rather straightforward item. I therefore would like to recommend to support rather the recommendations made by my colleague, Councillor Krier. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The item therefore carries. We're moving on to item 8.1.3, recommendation for the write-off of certain irrecoverable debt of public, May 2024. The first person to speak on this item is Councillor Kruger. You have 2 minutes, please.
Thank you so much, Speaker. Another opportunity to brag about the goodwill of George Municipality. It's always great. I would like to draw our attention, especially when it comes to the amounts being written off. And I would like to thank the financial department when it comes to this. The indigent new applications written off is more than 360,000, and then the special application for debt relief in May was also about 360,000, which brings the total to 728,000 and then some. So I would like to propose the recommendation as on page 75. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Losi. You have 1 minute, please. Councillor Losi, you have 1 minute, please.
Thank you. Sorry, Speaker. Thank you, Speaker. I would like to second the item 8.1. I would like to second the item 8.1, 8.3 on page 73 to 75, the recommendation for the writing of the Centene recovery debt for May. So I would like to second the item. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The item Councillors, I'm going to ask you, please. The next item on the agenda is item 8.1.4. Councillors' accounts in arrears for July. The first person to speak on this item is Councillor Kruger. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Speaker. Really appreciate it. So, councillors,
sorry, before you continue, Councillor, Councillor Fry and Councillor Lamini. I need to ask you to recuse yourself, please, as you have declared your interest in this matter, please. Could you please confirm once they are out? Rosemary, will you please confirm that they are out? Councillors, at this point, I'd also like to take note that there are two other councillors' names that were mentioned that would not declare it in the opportunity. I'm going to ask that Councillor Mankele and Councillor Jantjies also remove yourself from the meeting, please. Can you please tell me when they're out, Rosemary? I apologize for the hold-up. Can we continue, Rosemary?
Speaker, sorry, Councillors Fry and Lamini. They already left. Who's the third one?
Councillor Jantjies.
Jantjies.
And Mangala is out already.
Jantjies.
Okay. Can we continue?
Councillor Jantjies also left. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Kruger. You may continue. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Speaker. Once again, councillors' accounts in arrears for July 2024 at the end of July. As we all know, we had a national election and there was a few changes in our council with a brand new mayor being on the ground and all. We also handed in a declaration and disclosure of any interest. And like I said, the system that is applied here for councillors' accounts in arrears is done manually by a staff member. With us handing in the declaration and the disclosure, a few accounts was under the microscope, and as you'll see on the annexure on page 79, you'll see that 3 councillors were in arrears. They have been informed and the necessary steps have been taken. So my recommendation today on page 77 is that it be noted that the debt collection measures are strictly applied to all councillors of George Municipality in terms of the Municipal Systems Act, Act number 32 of 2000, and the list of Annexure A on page 78 to be updated monthly. I thus so propose. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Esu. You have 2 minutes.
Baie dankie Speaker. Speaker, van die ANC kant se kant af is ons baie bekommerd oor wat die aangaan. So ons eerste vraag gaan definitief wees, het hierdie item gedien by die artikel 80 komitee. Dan ook verder Speaker, dat ons hoor wat collega Kreer sê dat die rekenings nagegaan word deur 'n amptenaar manually. Wat dan wil sê is ons wil die skuld voor die amptenaar se deur lê dat 'n amptenaar nie hom of haar werk gedoen het nie, want in Mei het ons geen uitstaande of rekeninge wat agterstallig is van raadslede nie, en dan in June maand het ons rekeninge wat meer as 1000 plus is, wat agterstallig is. Verwysing na die Grootboom, een van die rekenings, die Grootboom 1, hy kom vir die afgelope 10 jaar aan. So dit is onaanvaarbaar dat ons nou wil sê, ons stel dit nou eers op, dat hierdie rekening agterstallig is en council of die genoemde council is nou vir 3 maande in die raad en ons het dit nie opgetel nie. So dit is onaanvaarbaar van die ANC se kant af. Dit wil lyk asof hier iets anders gebeur. Die feit dat hierdie item nie voor die section 80 gedien het en ons kom poes dit sommer dwars deur hier na die raad toe. Daar is sekere reëls en regulasies protokolle wat gevolg moet word. So wat is skuilend agter hierdie item dat ons dit nie by die section 80 laat dien het nie, maar ons poes dit sommer deur by die direk na die raadsvergadering toe. So ons vir as speaker as die ANC dat hierdie item terugverwys moet word na die section 80 toe, sodat dit daar bespreek kan word en dan terugkom na die raad toe. Baie dankie Speaker.
Thank you very much. Can I have a translation, please?
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, as we from the ANC, we are
Sorry, I can't hear you. I think everyone that I'm looking at is shaking their heads. Rosemary, that's whoever's talking. I can hardly hear a word they're saying. What happened to Mr. Paulus, if I may ask?
Speaker, we have a second translation today, but it's fine. I think
Okay, for some reason your microphones are not audible, and I cannot go ahead with the translation if I cannot hear exactly what is being said. So can somebody please change
Am I
microphone?
audible now, Speaker, enough?
You are perfectly audible now. Thank you.
Oh, okay then.
Can you continue then with the translation? Corporate services, I'm asking for a translation, please. We are holding up this meeting. We are on YouTube, and I'm not getting any words from the translators.
But Speaker, she is busy translating. Just a minute, please.
Okay, thank you. If somebody could just communicate that to me, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, Speaker. I have been talking, it must be network. As the ANC is quite worried about what is actually going on because this item did not serve in the Section 80 committee. Now that raises our eyebrow because as the councillor has already alluded here, that as he says that the official goes through manually with the billing of this accounts, then that raises our eyebrows because it means that somebody is not doing their job correctly, because the fact that there's some discrepancies and it's some wrong, then it shows that something needs to be done. The fact that the Grootboom case was for the last 10 years and it's only being picked up now after the councillor has joined council for more than 3 months, now it is only being picked up. It shows that there is something that is wrong and it is totally unacceptable on our side. The fact that it took so long for the fact that this be noticed. So as the ANC, we ask for the matter to be referred back and let it go the proper procedures and go to and serve to the relevant Section 80 committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Busak. You have 1 minute and 15 seconds.
Well, thank you, Speaker. The email we as councillors received on the 16th of September 2024 from the portfolio councillor, Mr. M. Kruger, is unacceptable for the PBI, Mr. Speaker. The code of conduct for all councillors is very clear. Section 19, number 11, 1 to 2A to D follow. Unauthorized disclosure of information a councillor may not, without the permission of the municipal council or a committee, disclose any confidential information of the committee. Mr. Speaker, we as a PBI request the Code of Conduct for Councillors, Section 19, number 15, 1B, and 16, the breaches of the code, and the investigation, give the councils reasonable opportunity to reply in writing regarding the allegation breach, unauthorized in the investigation of the facts and the circumstance of all alleged breaches, Mr. Speaker. We as PBI stand for that. Not run hardloop vooruit met inligting wat nog nie voor die raad het gedien het nie. Baie dankie.
Okay. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Verniekerk. You have 2 minutes.
Speaker, ja, dus duidelik dat alles nie wel is in hierdie afdeling nie. En ek verwys spesifiek na laas maand se item 8.1.5 en ook vanoggend se wat voorgehou is aan ons is
Sorry,
korrek.
Speaker, don't you forget the translation of the previous speaker.
Oh my goodness.
Could we have the translation of the last 4 words, please?
Speaker, the item was in English.
I know, and that the last 4 words in Afrikaans, and somebody's now asked for a translation, so I'm going to have to ask you to translate the last few words, please. Councillor Busa, can I ask you to repeat it in English, the last sentence that you said, please, for the councillor who didn't understand your Afrikaans?
Speaker, I think this is my democratic right in council to use my mother's language. Moenie die proses vooruit hardloop as nog nie gedien het hier in die raad nie. Thank you. And that's why we got the toll.
Thank you,
And they get
Chancellor.
paid.
Thank you, Chancellor.
Thank you,
Thank
Speaker. I've got that. Don't run forward in front of the process, and if it has not served in that committee, bringing it to council.
Thank you very much. Now could I ask Councillor van Niekerk to please continue? Thank you.
You mean Alderman van Niekerk?
I humbly apologize, Alderman van Niekerk.
Ja. Speaker, weer eens, daar is groot vraagtekens oor hierdie inligting wat na ons toe kom. Dit is nie die eerste keer wat dit gebeur nie. Ek verwys ook verlede maand en die maand voor dit, wat dan ons voorhou is dat daar geen agterstallige munisipale bydraes deur raadslede is nie. Nou, bietjie meer as 20 dae daarna, nou word ons ingelig, daar is wel 3 raadslede wat agterstallig is. En as 'n mens na die bedrae kyk, dan is dit duidelik dat hierdie al maande is wat dit aankom. Die vraag is, waarom word dit nou eers agtergekom? Om nou met 'n flou verskoning te kom dat hierdie inligting deur 1 persoon verskaf word aan Drolies, grens in die belaglike. By implikasie moet daar dan nou hoeveel persone aangestel word en betaal word, net om vas te stel hoeveel raadslede nie hulle rekeninge betaal nie. Ons het 'n rekeningafdeling, ons het 'n direkteur. Hulle is veronderstel om hulle werk te doen en deeglik te doen en toe te sien dat geloofwaardige inligting die raad en die publiek bereik. Tensy hulle beskerm word weens een of ander affiliasie natuurlik, wat ook 'n vraag is wat onmiddellik opkom. Dat daar duidelike bevel en beheer probleem is, nie net in hierdie afdeling nie, daar is ook ander en ons later daaroor ook praat. En wat dringend moet aandag geniet, is 'n feit. Ons spog so vreeslik en dit is seënwense voor en agter, maar onder op die grond is dinge nie so rooskleurig nie. Dan u het 'n plig in gevolg die gedragskode van raadslede om op te tree en ek vertrou ook dat u kans sal bring. Baie dankie.
Thank you, Speaker.
You may go ahead.
Yes, okay. We have a big question mark. It raises our eyebrows because when you look at last month and a month before, there were no areas account or councillors that were in areas. But 20 days after that, we see that there's an account of 3 councillors, which makes us really to see that there is a problem, because looking at the amount, then there is a question that needs to be raised, because why only now, and why is it that only now they are being noticed? And you find out that there's a lot of people that are being implicated, and in those specific department, there needs to be looked at, because it shows that there's probably a person or people who are not doing their work or what they are expected to do in that department. And there's a problem with other departments as well that we need to look into, not only this specific department that our attention needs to draw to them. So what we say is we want clarity, because this needs to our attention, and because you as the speaker, you have a duty to see to it that you act in regard to this. We trust that you will be able to sort it out as expected. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The last person to speak on this item is Councillor Jay. You have 1 minute, please.
Speaker, kan ek vra dat die chairperson van hierdie komitee dalk 'n verduideliking gee, of was 'n paar vrae gewees?
Councillor,
Of moet ek weer
please continue with your portion, and then the councillor can continue in accordance with the rules of order. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. I second the proposal made by my colleague, Councillor Kruger.
Thank you very much, Councillor. With that in mind, I see that the MMC's hand is up. Could you please use this time to clarify any questions that you may want to answer?
Thank you so much, Speaker. I won't be long. Yes, there was obviously questions from the floor, and I would like to just clear up the air. First of all, my colleague, Councillor Iso, actually serves on the Section 80 Committee for Finance. He did make an excuse, so he was supposed to be in that meeting where we did discuss all three of the accounts, just on that. Then the second point I need to make is that one of the councillors who is in arrears is a new councillor. And with new councillors coming on, we all know that we have to fill in the declaration and disclosure of any interest form. That is why the account might look a bit big. He hasn't been a councillor for that long, and I'm sure, I don't want to state the obvious, but we had to hand in those forms at the end of June. Thus,
Councillor, could you just stick to let's not go into the merits of anything like that. Could you just give the explanations, please? I don't need you to go into the, I don't want the merits of this case to go into, please.
Perfect. And then just the last question from Alderman van Niekerk. On page 3 of that form, you have to state the residential address, and that might have changed. So councillors, according to the Code of Conduct, item 14 states that the rates and services. So if you receive services from the municipality, you have to pay, and that's why it was only flagged for the new month. I'm sure that gives clarity to all the questions that have been asked, and I highly appreciate the time. Thank you so much, Speaker.
Thank you very much. This item has been concluded and seconded, so we're therefore going to move on. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is 8.1.5, recommendation of the write-off of certain irrecoverable debt, public, July 2024. The first person to speak on this item is Councillor Kruger. You have 2 minutes.
Yes, thank you so much, Speaker. Once again, on page 80, you'll see the recommendation for the write-off of certain irrecoverable debt for July. Previous speaker have said that the municipality's heart is so good, and I would like to confirm that with the amounts on page 81. I can go into merit now, but I do not want to. You'll see the total write-offs for July will be 3.7 million rand. Now that speaks to the way that the George municipality is being run, and I would like to thank the administration through you to the CFO and the whole department for the work they are doing. So I would like to recommend this as on page 82. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor S. Foster. You have 1 minute, please.
Goeiemôre, Speaker. Goeiemôre almal, MMC Maree. Ja, ek wil net baie dankie sê en namens die PIA verwelkom ons die afskryf van die skuld. Soos ons self weet, is daar baie inwoners wat dit nie kan afford om te betaal nie. Daar's verskillende kategorieë. Jy kry mense wat werkloos is, wat nie die means het om te betaal nie, en dan kry jy die wat net nie wil betaal nie. So, maar ek is baie dankbaar dat die George munisipaliteit dat ons die skuld afskryf van mense wat in arrears is. En ons weet daar's 'n verskriklike lange lys van mense wat met ou skuld sukkel en nog tot vandag toe nog steeds sukkel. So ek is baie bly dat hy skuld afgeskryf word. Baie dankie.
Thank you, Speaker. As the PA, thank you very much, MMC. We hear what you are saying, and we, as the PA, we are very much grateful. We are welcoming the writing off of debt for our people, as we all know that we are actually facing a problem of people who can't afford. We actually sit with different categories of people. There are those who cannot pay because they can't afford, and you get those who don't pay because they just don't want to pay. So we are grateful for the writing off debt of our people who honestly cannot afford to pay their own debt. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The last person to speak on this item is Councillor Kleinans. You have 1 minute, please.
Speaker, again, this is a great opportunity to thank the Director at Finance, as my colleague Councillor Foster has also done it. I would like to call on all councillors, Speaker, to make sure that we convey the message to our communities out there, and also to our communities that are tuned in, Speaker, on the YouTube channel, that we convey the message to people to go to our area offices, to go to the municipal offices, to make sure if they cannot afford it, that they come to our Finance Directorate for assistance. And I would really like to applaud my colleague, Councillor Kruger, as well as the CFO and his financial department for the stunning job that they are doing. And I would therefore, Speaker, then second the recommendation made by my colleague. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The item therefore carries. We'll move on to item 8.1.6, the second supplementary valuation roll for the book year of 2023-24. The first person to speak on this item is Elder Lady Kritzinger, please. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Chairperson, Speaker. This item is basically serves to, in terms of Section 49 of the Property Rates Act, that the valuer of the municipality must submit a certified valuation roll to the MM, and within 21 days of receipt, it must be published in the Provincial Government Gazette and to the media. It also says that the MM advertise the valuation roll for public inspection and objections. I want to recommend we adopt the recommendation on page 86. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. We move on to the last speaker on this item, Councillor Simmons. You have 1 minute, please.
I second, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The item is therefore adopted. We'll move on to the next item, 8.1.7, Management of Coastal Public Property in Wilderness. The first person to speak on this item is Councillor Barnard. You have 3 minutes.
Good morning, Speaker. Good morning, Council. Colleagues, I need to take you to this item regarding a coastal management plan for the entire wilderness area. You all know that wilderness is marked by sandy beaches and houses that are situated along the coast. And some of these houses have actually encroached onto state-owned property. And it became a problem for the Department of Environmental Affairs, who then contacted the municipality. And the planning section did a survey of these properties to determine exactly what the encroachments are. And you will notice that on page 89, all the actions to date have been stipulated quite clearly. We need to keep in mind that our coastal areas are in fact governed by 2 sets of regulations. It's our NEMA Act as well as the ICMA Act. And it was found that there are over 100 properties who are in fact encroaching onto this coastal protected area. Some of this is because of erosion that's taken place with storm surges, etc., and heavy rainfalls or large waves. But the protection measures that they have put in place have not always been very legal, and that was why it was necessary for the survey to be done. Now, there is a set of recommendations as to what the municipality has to do in conjunction with the Western Cape DEDP department as well as with SANParks. And I would like to take you to the recommendation because that actually explains the whole process to you. If we go to the recommendation on page 93, you will note that there have been ongoing efforts by the Department of Planning to investigate and survey these various encroachments, and a report must be noted. The report is attached, and that we are going to be putting together a coastal erosion management guideline for the whole of wilderness. So the draft is going to be going out for public participation and engagement. So we need to approve that draft. And then this draft will be advertised. There will be various engagements with community members that will be held. And after that, following all the public processes, the final draft with guidelines will come back to the MACO, whereafter it will come to council, I would assume. And then we ask that the acting director for human settlements, planning and development be mandated to allocate funds to appoint a service provider to actually develop this entire plan, and that the acting MM be mandated to enter into any agreements with potential partners to leverage capacity and funding to access the necessary funds. Chair, just in conclusion, I would like to thank the department for putting together this incredibly well-written piece of work. Lauren Josias, one of our newer and younger officials, put this report together, and I think it is a great report. It served at the S80, and I therefore propose on page 93 from A through to F that we accept the recommendation as is. I so propose. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Carolus. You have 30 seconds.
Ja, thank you Speaker. Good morning colleagues. Het is goed om te zien dat die George munisipaliteit begin optree teen die sulkes soos in hierdie item aangevra. Hierdie sulkes wat woon langs ons kusgebiede, veral in die Wilderness omgewing. Inwoners daar is geneig om te lees asof die see en omgewing aan hulle behoort. Die PBI ondersteun die George munisipaliteit in volle met hierdie inisiatief. Die PBI wil ook egter byvoeg en vra dat die George munisipaliteit hierdie inisiatief verder neem en borde opsit wat eienaars remind waar daar grense is, as ook die publiek inlig waar hulle mag speel. Daar was al gevalle waar huiseienaars en gewone strandgangers argumente gehad het. Dit raak alweer somer, so ons strande sal weer oorloop. Die PBI hoop dat hierdie aangeleentheid spoedig afgehandel sal word. Dankie Speaker.
Your microphone is on still, please. Thank you. Can I have a translation?
Good morning, Speaker. We are saying it's good for the George municipality in all what it's doing. And we think that the people who are staying there, or the residents who stays along the coast, think that the area belongs to them. And then we as the PBI say that the George municipality is good that they take initiatives and they look at how to resolve these matters. And also to see that the people must know where they need to play. And as we are knowing that our beaches are going to be full very soon. And we know there are always arguments around the usage of our beaches. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Lowe. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds, please.
Dankie Speaker. Speaker, ek het die Coastal Response Guideline en die Coastal Encroachment Report 24 Augustus baie interessant gevind. Ten minste het my insig gegee wat in Wilderness gebeur. Ek glo dat ons hele kuslyn ondersoek sal word en om dit te beskerm teen alle onwettige aktiwiteite deur privaat eienaars of die staat. Dis kommerwekkend dat sommige eienaars doen wat hulle wil sonder om die nagevolge van hulle aksies in ag te neem. Dit is onverantwoordelik en onsensitief teenoor die omgewing en daarom is dit nodig dat daar onmiddellik opgetree word teenoor die eienaars wat hulle skuldig gemaak het, soos uitgewyg in die verslag. As goed versoek ons dat onmiddellik opgetree word teen die eienaars wat hulle aanskuldig maak. As die persone was die grond onwettig beset, dan word daar vinnig en hard opgetree teenoor die wat hulle daaraan skuldig maak. Wetstoepassers is dan oral te sien om wette te af te dwing. Dieselfde gebeur wanneer daar onwettige aanbouings gedoen word aan huise as byvoorbeeld, dan word die huiseienaars beboet. Daarom moet daar dringend opgetree word en die wat hulle skuldig maak onmiddellik ingelig word en nodige sanksies toegepas word. As goed wil ons 'n voorstel maak aanbeveling by moet lees that the Coastal Erosion Management Guidelines for Wilderness and the rest of George Coastline. Dankie Speaker.
Good day, Speaker. It is very interesting for us as the good what is happening in the area of Wilderness around the residents who owns the area. And then we are saying as an action needs to be taken against all the owners and those who took the land illegally. They should be held accountable. That is why we say that we need to strengthen measures or stricter measures need to be taken against them. We as the good and propose that the guidelines be taken. This is. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Brown. You have 1 minute, please.
Thank you, Speaker. I support the recommendation made by my colleague. Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you. The item therefore carries. We'll move on to the next item, 8.1.8, report on the proposed upgrade of the St. Mark's Square and Urban Renewal Project. First person to speak on this item is Councillor Barnett. You have 3 minutes, please.
Good morning, Speaker and Council. Thank you very much. Colleagues, the background to this item is the upgrading of, or proposed upgrading of St. Mark's Square. For those that don't know, that is the area that is behind upstairs at Harry's. And we all know that there are several challenges, social challenges, as well as challenges with vagrants, buses stopping there, taxis stopping there. And we also know that there's a huge demand for parking in the CBD. However, it was found that this parking area is only utilized 40% of the time, and part of it is because of the condition that it is in, and people don't really want to stop there. And the second reason is that there's not really enough signage indicating to people who don't know the area that there is parking available. So if we look at the item before us, this item is actually to allow the planning department to go out and get this whole area sorted out and to come back with an amazing project that will be to the benefit of not only Holy Cross, the businesses in the area, but to the entire George if we upgrade and make some changes. Speaker, I think that if I can take you to paragraph 13, that is probably the nicest paragraph of all, because that actually indicates some of the work that our department proposes. I must just say that we have looked at possibly putting up a multi-level parking garage, but that is a very, very costly exercise, and it was therefore proposed that we look at the following recommendations that are on page under item number 13, rather. It is Annexure B to this recommendation. So it will include things like CCTV cameras, improving the lighting, finding ways that we can facilitate our local informal traders. It will improve the whole safety of the area. There's a black container that we need to sort out. But you will note that a lot of our services, civil services, are in this area. So whatever we do, it needs to be done in conjunction with civil so that we don't damage any of our municipal services. So there are about 8 different points that we are looking at, including street furniture, beautifying the area, etc. And I see my time is running out. So yes, I think it's a great project that we have been proposed. If we look at the recommendations, we will see that from we would like council to support this entire upgrading and redesign as it has been included in the recommendations. So I therefore propose that we accept the recommendations on page 149, all the way from A, it goes right through onto 150, and that we approve the redesign and the steps that need to be implemented to upgrade this entire area. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Carolus. You have 1.1, a minute and 15 seconds, sorry.
Dankie, Speaker. Die PBI is weer eens ten gunste van die ontwikkeling van die St. Mark's Square. Die St. Mark's Square is 'n integrale deel van die CBD en 'n gewilde baken binne die dorp. Dit is egter kommerwekkend dat ons nou eers kyk na die ontwikkeling van so 'n kosbare deel van ons dorp. Die PBI wil ook voorstel dat daar weer werkswinkels gehou moet word oor hoe hierdie projek maksimale impak kan maak. Hier moet ons weer nie vergeet van die rol wat ons jong entrepreneurs en informele besighede kan speel nie. Byvoorbeeld voortaks, stalletjies en ander informele besighede kan 'n groot rol speel met die uitbou van toerisme-attraksies binne die dorp. Hierdie is ook 'n geleentheid om ons informele besighede betrokke te kry by groter besighede. Plaaslike besigheidskamers moet ook 'n geleentheid gegee word om 'n bydrae te lewer rondom hierdie projek. Die St. Mark's Square projek kan 'n baie groot kapitale bydrae lewer tot die ekonomie en toerisme-attraksies van ons dorp. Dankie, Speaker.
The PBI is in favor of the development of the St. Mark's Square because it is going to be part of the upgrading of our town, which is a great thing. We also want to make a suggestion that work opportunities be given and granted to small business owners and entrepreneurs so that they can also be part of the development of our town. Let us not forget the role of the entrepreneurs that they can play in developing our town and make it a great tourist attraction, and also not forget the rural areas, business owners that could also be given an opportunity to form part of this upgrading and the development of the St. Mark's Square Park. Thank you so much, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor M. Gultich. You have 1 minute.
Thank you, Speaker. The redesign and upgrade of St. Mark's Square will bring a secure and safe aspect to the area that is in line with the vision of the Mayor for a safer, cleaner George. Residents of George, including surrounding schools and businesses, will benefit from the implementation of the planning of this project. Therefore, I second the proposal made by my colleague. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The item therefore carries. We'll move on to item 8.1.9, application for the cancellation of restrictive title deed conditions registered against Admin 1291, 4645 and 4646 Pakkelsdorp, and consent to the transfer of the unconstructed road ARF 4647 Pakkelsdorp. The first person to speak on this item is Councillor Barnard. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, this item is a no debate item, so I'm just going to give you a brief background. The Hans Ms. Krol Enterprises applied to be able to make use of the earth that you referred to, that is the unconstructed road earth 4647 in Pakkelsdorp, and this has been dealt with in the Planning Committee as well as in the Mayoral Committee, and it was agreed after several discussions that we accept this recommendation and that the piece of land in under discussion 4647 be transferred to the Hans Ms. Krol Enterprises as they requested, and that it be done subject to all the necessary legal processes that need to be followed. I therefore propose that we accept on page 205 all the way through to page 206. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The next person to speak on this item therefore is Councillor Kleinans. You have 1 minute, please.
Speaker, is the chief responsible for this ward. I second the proposal made by my fellow colleague, Councillor Barnard.
Thank you very much. The item therefore carries. We'll move on to item 9, the minutes of the Municipal Public Accounts Committee. Impact for information. I received nothing. We move to item 10, reports to Municipal Public Accounts Committee. Impact, nothing. Item 11, reports to Council. Item 11.1, attendance of the International Golf Travel Market in Lisbon, Portugal, from the 14th to the 17th of October. And the first person to speak on this item is Councillor Barnard. You have 3 minutes, please.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, hopefully the last time I'll be speaking today. Colleagues, those of you that can remember last year will know that the Tourism Department attends the International Golf Travel Market in Portugal. This item was included in the strategic plan of the tourism section, which has been approved by Council. So the item before us today just serves to decide and approve the attendance by one of our officials. Speaker, on page 239, it actually says under financial implications that the tourism manager, Ms. Joan Shaw, is nominated to attend. However, I contacted her and she confirmed that it is not in fact her. She attended it last year, and it will in fact be the tourism marketing manager, and that is Ms. Sharon House. So, Speaker, the recommendation then states that we approve Ms. House to attend this very important fair, which brings a lot of tourists to our area. We know we have some of the best golf facilities in South Africa, and this is where the bread and butter of our tourism industry often lies. Speaker, there will be a report that comes to the SAT committee every quarter, and that report indicates our successes and what we actually benefit by going to these various shows. And I do need to say that we had a discussion regarding councillors attending some of these shows. And in future, although it's not in the recommendation, we will really try to make an effort that if our tourism department or section attends and goes to expos, that we at least try to accommodate one of our councillors to go and do so in support. So, Speaker, at this stage, I would just like to put the recommendation to you as is on page 242, and that is that the strategic activity be approved and that Ms. Sharon House, our Senior Tourism Officer who's in charge of the marketing of our area, is delegated to attend the International Golf Travel Market from the 14th to the 17th of October. I therefore so propose. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is the ANC. You have 2 minutes.
Mandibulise uSpeaker nakwikhansila zonke. Speaker, singumbutho wesizwe thina sibona iyinkcithamali leya. Okokuqala last month beke ndavisitela office ka Mrs Jones le kuthethwa ngaye apha no Sharon Law. I-office iqala yona inida urenovate. So sibona thina njengenkcithamali kuba makuthathwe imali isiwe. Okwesibini, iGeorge is one of the best and the beautiful cities in South Africa. Akukho sidingo sokubana iGeorge mayilantika mayimarkethwe kule zinto ze-golf course. Sine-golf course ezimbini apha, ilantika i-Fan Court kwakunye ne-Obai. Zezona golf course itsala abakhenkethi. Sineentaba ezintle njengoba nisitsho kula background. So asisiboni isidingo soba kuthathwa imali iyochithwa ngumntu 100,000 bekufanele barenovate kwayi-office le bahlala kuyo. Enkosi.
Thank you, Speaker. From the ANC, we see it as an unfruitful expenditure for the official to visit the tour. I've been to an office to visit the office. When I saw the office itself needs to be renovated. And we, the ANC, think that George itself can market itself as it is a beautiful destination. We do have beautiful hotels who can market itself. We have Fan Court, we have Obai, we have beautiful mountains. So we see the 100,000 expenditure as unfruitful, and we therefore object to the expenditure.
Thank you. The next person to speak on the item is Councillor Busak. You have 1 minute.
Thank you, Speaker. On the 14th of September 2024 was the Section 80 committee meeting. Why was this item not served at that meeting? And on the 4th of August, they received an invite for this person to go overseas for this Ndaba. Mr. Speaker, we cannot support this item. One official of George Municipality must promote Fan Court, Obai, Kingsewood, the golf clubs and the golf courses in Portugal. 100,000 rand for only 3 days. Now that is unacceptable and that is fruitless and wasteless expenditures, Mr. Speaker. We as PBI, how will our community will benefit out of this? And where is the report of last year visit of Mrs. Jones Shaw? They haven't served yet, and we are now into a new quarter again. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor America. You have 1 minute, please.
Thank you, Speaker. I second the recommendation done by my colleague, Councillor Barner. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The item is therefore seconded. Unfortunately, councillors, there's no counter proposals. So there's no voting. Your objections are noted. Thank you. We'll move on to the next item, 11.2, approval of the guarantee for Eskom accounts. The first person to speak on this item is Councillor Goldfish. You have 3 minutes.
Good day, Speaker. Do I have other people speaking as well? There we go.
Today I bring before you the matter regarding the energy supply needs for the growing George municipality. The electrical department has submitted a request to Eskom for an increase on electricity supply kilowatt hour capacity. Eskom has approved the request, but as part of the agreement, they require a deposit of 84 million. Rather than paying the substantial amount as a direct deposit and earning no return, we propose an alternative. We will use an approved contract banker that will provide a guarantee to Eskom on our behalf. By doing this, we will be able to invest the 84 million as security for the guarantee, allowing the municipality to earn interest while meeting Eskom's requirements. This approach ensures that the funds will be working for us rather than sitting idly in Eskom's account. This is a prime example of financial governance, ensuring that we meet our obligations while maximizing the use of municipal funds. It is important to highlight that the decision aligned with Section 48(1)(a) of the Municipal Financial Management Act, which allows the municipality to provide security for its debt obligations. Furthermore, under Section 48.3, the funds we propose to use for this investment are not essential for the providing of the minimum level of basic municipality services, meaning that the funds are available to serve as a guarantee. In summary, the Eskom guarantee will allow us to proceed with critical infrastructure upgrades, ensuring a stable and sufficient electricity supply for all the residents of George. I therefore propose the adoptions of the recommendation A and B as stated on page 246. Thank you for the opportunity, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The next item, the next person to speak is the ANC. You have 2 minutes.
Sorry, Speaker. Morning. Can you have a podcast for 5 minutes, Speaker, for this item? Thank you. The ANC.
Councillor, I want to confirm you want 5 minutes. I'm going to ask that you have 10 because it takes you 5 to get ready. We'll have a 10-minute body break. We'll come back at. In fact, let's make it until 11:30. Let's make it 11:30, then we can have a body break, and we'll be back at exactly 11:30.
Speaker.
Councillors,
They ask for five. They ask
Councillors,
five to give
I've
them
made a
second.
ruling, Councillor.
Why
I've
extra?
not, I've not entertained you, and I haven't accepted your name. So please, thank you.
Oh, I understand. Speak.
Councillors, members of the public, my time now says exactly 11:30. I'm going to ask the ANC, are you happy to go forward? Can somebody answer me? Are you prepared to go forward, Councillor ANC? Sorry, let me just, my apologies. I have to allow the mics. My humblest apologies. You can now talk. Sorry. ANC, are you ready to go ahead? Okay, are the mics on now? There seems to be a technical glitch.
Okay.
ANC, are you ready? Can you
Morning, Speaker. Thank you, update now. Councillor Go. Thank
okay,
you.
thank you very much. Please continue.
Mandibulisa Speaker, ndibulisa kwi-councillors. Speaker, ANC as a noted item, but we have a problem in regards to this item. Khange iseve kwi-section 80 committee. I'm part of that, but ndibulisa isifumana kwi-section 80. Speaker, and the other thing that is no issue nayo as ANC, kunezinto ebezi-approviwe kwicala lika-electoral departments. If we can speak maybe of ezo zinto, kune power station apha eThembalethu 66 volts ebekufuneka kumuve abantu abayi-50, if we still remember. Bekuthiwe silinde kubekho i-funding that will assist based on loo nto bakumuve namatyotyombe apha phezu kwentambo, so that la power station izokwazi uba isebenze for iThembalethu and other areas. But ngoku siyabona uba kuthethwa kule item nge-80 millions eziza kwa-Eskom based on into singayi-understandiyo. So sicela u-understandiswa based on ezo zinto uba ento bezi-approviwe ngaphambili ithini into yazo. If we can look ngoku, there is into electrification yamatyotyombe that is taking so slowly uba mayigqitywe eThembalethu, yet kuthiwa kulindwe i-funding. Can't this le 84 million mhlambi assist kwezo zinto based on the problems sinayo ithemba likacimicimi wombane? Enkosi.
Thank you. You can have the translation, please.
Thank you, Speaker. As the ANC, we do note this item that is in front of us. However, we do have a problem with regards to it. As part of this specific Section 80 committee, as a member of this committee, this item did not serve on that committee because I serve on that committee. The other issue that we have is the issue of we approved few things on this specific department, but we see that those things have not yet taken place or not yet done. For example, we spoke about the power station in Thembalethu of the 66 volts and the 50 people that were supposed to be moved because of the power station that was supposed to be in Thembalethu, but we do not see or we don't know or how far is it. We want to know how far is it, because the last we checked, we waited for funding with regards to that, but now we see that we speak about them 80 million that are going to Eskom, of which we do not understand for what. We really do not understand about that 80 million that is supposed to go now to Eskom. We also have a problem with the issue of the informal houses, informal settlement in Thembalethu, of which people are still waiting for electricity or for those places to be electrified, but still those problems are not yet resolved. So that is the main issue and the concerns that we have with regards to this item. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Busak. You have 30 seconds.
Thank you, Speaker. The PBI have a big problem why all this meetings and items are not serving on the Section 80 committees. Section 48, the Municipal Finance Management Act, the subsection 2AB must indicate the manner in which the availability of the asset or the right for the provision of the minimum level of the basic municipal service will be protected. The PBI take note of this item Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the last person to speak on this item is Councillor Kruger. You have 1 minute, please.
So much, Speaker. I second the recommendation as my colleague, Councillor Gultig, made. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The item therefore carries. The next item on this agenda is 11.3, the adoption of the bylaw liquor trading days and hours. The first person to speak on this item is Councillor Adams. You have 3 minutes, please.
Morning, Speaker. Good morning, everyone. As a town, we are growing, and therefore we must also take our people's democratic right in consideration, and not to deter them from using their democratic rights to do stuff. Chair, Speaker, I would like to make the recommendation as at Annex B for the times for the trading hours for the liquor stores in George to be opened as such recommended on the pages there in the Annex B on 246.7 as also as in the late item. I therefore propose those times. Thank you, Chair. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor Ndaka. You have 2 minutes, please.
Mandibulise, Speaker. Ndithi singumbutho we-ANC. Kuso sonke isindululo esithe sabekwa apha ngokwamaxesha nanjengoko sasicelile ukuze ke abantu bethu nabantu bamashishini bakwazi ukuxhamla nokuthi abantu abafuna okokuba bake baziphulule babe nexesha elifanelekileyo. Siyavuma ke sisithi la maxesha marayithi makuhanjwe ngokwesizindululo sibekiweyo. Sisondela ke nakumcimbi ke odibene neeholiday. Siyawuqonda okokuba ngabana ngokubekiweyo amaxesha ahamba naye lilangecawe. Esinye ke into esinoyicela kokuba ngabana umzekelo iimvula ezifana neChristmas zingeMigqibelo azikho phakathi evekini. Amaxesha wazo alungiselelwe afane noLwesihlanu noMgqibelo ukwenzela okokuba ngabana abantu noko babe nexesha. Sivuya ke nangona sivile kwabaxhasileyo abasomashishini abathethileyo ngesizindululo bazibeka bebonisa okokuba ngabana bayasixhasa. Nee-responses ke zikamasipala azibekileyo kwabo bebengaphesheya. Zonke ezi zinto ke azenzela okokuba ilizwe eli litshabalale. Sinethemba lokokubana njengoba zonke iidepartment nezobamba ucwangco zikhona nazo ngamaxesha afanelekileyo zizawusebenza. Loo nto ithetha ukuthi ke la maxesha ayingomaxesha abekelwe okokuba ngabana makube kundlobongela okanye abantu babe namaxhala, ngoko angamaxesha azawukwazi ukukhontrolwa naziidepartment ezifanele loo nto. Nanjengokuba ngaphambili ibinguvula nje kodwa ngoku sinethemba lokokuba noko yonke le nto izasebenzela. Siyayixhasa ke sithi mayiphumelele. Nkosi.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Could we have the translation, please?
Thank you, Speaker. We as the ANC, we support all the recommendations and the times, and all our people will benefit from these time frames set before us. And for those who all want to enjoy themselves will be able to do so. So all times are stipulated, we support that. As we know that the holiday is closer or nearer, Christmas is soon, we therefore propose that if Christmas is during the weekdays, it also be extended. It'd be like the Friday and Saturday times. It'd be allowed that those days be extended if they are during the week. We hope also that all this will work and all departments will support these times, as at least they're going to be controllable, and it's not like before where it was not controllable. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Kurish. You have 45 seconds.
Thank you, Speaker. The PBI acknowledge and accept the trading hours. It will be a boost to our economy and job creation. Our concern is what will the municipal do to ensure the safety of citizens of the Garden Route? Alcohol abuse and crime walks hand in hand. PBI suggests deployment of law enforcement officers or lead officers in hotspot areas. We need to make sure these safety measures are in place and not only rely on SAPs. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. I just want to ask that one of the councillors has got a speaker on that I can hear an echo with. If you could just put your speakers down, please. Thank you. And your microphones. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Foster. You have 1 minute, please. Sorry, that's Councillor S. Foster.
Yes, sorry, Speaker. Morning again. Die PA is nie ten gunste, en ek wil dit net baie duidelik maak, dat ons nie ten gunste is dat die drankwinkels op Sondag moet oop wees nie. Ons sit klaar met geweldige challenges, uitdagings binne die wijke, met alcohol abuse, gemeenskap, veiligheid. Daar is so baie issues, social issues binne die wijke van ons. En ek persoonlik voel dat jy weet, as jy alcohol wil gebruik, is daar genoegsame tyd van maandag tot vrydag, saterdag toe. Ons is besig nou om tyd te create hier op 'n Sondagoggend waar mense se pause is, om 'n bietjie kerk toe te gaan. En ek is 'n firm en die PA is 'n firm believer van dit, dat ons nie ons Christelike values met een kant toeskuif om liquor trading toe te laat op Sondag nie. Baie, baie dankie.
Speaker, we want to make it clear that the issue of the bottle stores be opened on Sunday. We are objecting on that. We are sitting with social challenges of alcohol abuse, and of my opinion is that if one needs to enjoy or wants to enjoy his liquor, we have enough days from Monday to Saturday, and we think that my own opinion is that Sunday is for church, and we then we appeal that Sundays be open to anyone who want to attend church, and we object for Sunday. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, for the translation. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Kampi. You have 1 minute, please. Councillor Kampi,
Enkosi Speaker, ndavakala.
I can hear you.
Am I audible, Speaker?
Very.
Thank you. Speaker, thina sikumbutho EFF sithi siyabulela kumasipala sikwazileyo uthethisana siphele sivisisana. Inhle loo nto wale gqibeleni ba basilela abantu bakuthi ngoba babeka isoko etafileni for insana zabo nefamily zabo. Noko makuvakalele kube gqibeleni kaloku egqibeleni into zebhizinesi zikhona ii-charges abazicharjayo abantu, imali afuneka bezikhubele for ii-licenses abazibhatalayo kulo rhulumente wethu. So kubaluleka into yoba for renewal of licenses bakwazi into yoba bazibhabhoze, each and every renewal of licenses ziyanyuka. So kunyanzeleka into yoba nathi sibalule into yoba amaxesha abo angacuthwa kube kukuzimokolo zona ezi-operator from 10 to 6 o'clock. Ecawe ke kukho abangakhonzi abazolwa icawe, asimisi icawe thina. Xa ufuna ecaweni vuka uye ecaweni ekhoza uthixo wakho, uyeka abaselayo bosela utywala babo. Kuba kaloku gqibeleni indaba yotywala alcohol abuse but contributor to the economy of South Africa. Kule ndawo ukuyo nje ngenxa yobu butywala kuthiwa buya-abuse. Xa into abuse ke nokutya kuya-abuswa, yonke into uya-abuse but xa uzilinganiselela ungumntu alo tyala lethu thina siyikhansila kamasipala thina silwela amalu.
Sorry, Councillor, your time is up. You had your minute. I apologize for that, but thank you very much for trying. Can you do the translation, please?
We, the EFF, then we are thankful and that municipality would come to an engagement so that up to an agreement that we have for our people who want to make their business, make success of their businesses, because some of our people do business to support their families, And we know the challenges that they're faced with is the rising license fees that they need to pay. So the extension of time will allow them to make more profit and for them to cover their cost. The issue of abuse of alcohol depends on individuals. So we do support the proposal, Speaker.
Thank you very much. And the last person to speak on this item. Thank you. The last person to speak on this item is Councillor Kruger. You have 1 minute, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Speaker. I would just like to highlight this, that the proposal in front of us is exactly what the ANC actually asked us to do. So I would like to second the recommendation made by my colleague, Councillor Adams, and I completely agree with the previous speaker that alcohol abuse is individuals to itself. Let's make sure this economy is healthy. So yeah, I'll second the proposal. Thank you so much, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The MMC for law enforcement, Councillor Adams, you'd like to clarify something, please?
Yes, Speaker, thank you very much. I would like to thank the ANC, the PBI, and Good and EFF for agreeing with this bylaw that we're amending to make sure that our people do business and that their rights to trade is not impeached on. I would like to just clarify for the PA that we are looking at tightening our bylaws when it comes to taverns, and then also we are growing our law departments enforcement to make sure that George becomes safer as per our mayor's decree, and we are really following that. I would also like to ask the PA to engage with others, with the ANC, PBI, Good and EFF, as to why they've got the same stance as we as a DA has. Speaker, we will tighten our law enforcement and we will make sure that George becomes safer.
Thank you, Councillor.
Thank
you, Councillor. Thank you very much. Councillor, the item therefore carries. Item 11.3 has been seconded. We therefore, it is carried. I'm going to move on. I see the hand, Councillor Johnson. I'd just like to, I'll acknowledge you. Can, Councillor Johnson?
Good morning and thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the DA coalition would just like to ask for a 15-minute caucus after the open agenda is done. Thank you.
Let's get through the open agenda and then we'll talk about that. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is the motions or proposals deferred from previous meetings, and I have received none. 13 new motions, I've received none. Matters at the discretion of the Speaker, I have received nothing, and I have nothing that I'd like to bring to the Council. Urgent matters by the Municipal Manager. Mr. Adonis, do you have anything from your side that you'd like to bring to Council?
Speaker, nothing from my side.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adonis. That effectively brings us to the end of the open agenda. Councillors, it's now 10 to 12. I'm going to ask that while we switch over to the confidential part of this meeting, that we have a half-an-hour break so that we can have a lunch break as well before we continue with it, and that will prevent us from having to do 2 stops after that. So I'm going to say that we can resume at 12:30. And then we'll take up the confidential portion of this meeting. So I'm going to ask that we adjourn now until 12:30, please. Thank you. And then the DA can have the caucus during that period.